Hey everybody, it's Coach Matt over here at Primal Athlete Training Center, coming to you today with another answer to a question that was posted on my YouTube channel regarding one of the videos that we did on releasing the discus. And this comes from a guy by the name of Indianapolis 57. And it looks like there were a few questions asked by Indianapolis 57 on keeping the thumb down and letting the discus come out of the hand nice and flat without it fluttering, without it wobbling in the air. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over some of the common problems and the common reasons why this happens, and hopefully for Indianapolis 57 and any other throwers that are out there watching this, we'll get that question answered for you. Alright, now what we're talking about is at the very end of the throw. The very end of the throw, your legs are turned, your feet are turned, your hips are extended, and the discus is about to come out of the hand. When we talk about keeping the thumb down, we're talking about keeping the discus nice and flat as we release it. Now, what seems to happen with a lot of very beginner throwers, or a lot of people the first couple weeks of their season, if they haven't thrown all summer, if they didn't do anything during the fall or during the winter to work on it, is that when they release, their thumb is up in the air. And because the thumb is up in the air, when you apply pressure, it comes out of the hand and it wobbles and kind of turns over as we're going through the throw. Well, one of the most common reasons why this happens is because you're thinking about throwing the discus in the air. Okay? What you have to realize about the throwing events is that the upper body does not designate the angle that you release the implement at, whether it's the shot or the discus or the javelin. The lower body is actually what tells you the correct angle. Your upper body is always going to be straight. You're always going to have that right angle at the armpit. You're always going to have your hand up in the air. It's the bending of the lower body, the extension and the throwing of the hips that puts that discus in the air. So if at the end of your throw, if you're looking forward, but you have the discus up in the air, you're going to throw it and have it flatten out. You have to think about during your warm-ups throwing the discus flat. Now it's really a tough thing for you to understand. You think if you're going to throw something, you're going to throw it in the air. But during warm-ups, you have to work on keeping the discus flat as it comes out of the hand. Now the other reason why this happens, and a reason that happens a lot more with the beginner athletes as opposed to athletes who are just starting out that may have done it for a few years, but it's the first couple weeks of practice, is that you're scared of dropping that discus. You have to think of it like a roller coaster on the tracks. The old school roller coasters, the old wooden coasters, they weren't attached to the track. They would actually sit on the track, and the force and the speed of the coaster moving would actually produce downforce and glue the carts onto the track. The discus is the same exact thing. The faster that you move the discus, the more it's going to stick on the hand, and the less chance that you are going to drop it. So what you should do if you're just starting out is walk out into the middle of the track, walk out into the middle of a field, big open field, and just spend some time with the discus. Start moving the discus, start turning the discus, start pushing it around, and just realize that it's not going to come off the hand. The faster that you move, the more it sticks to the hand. So get used to moving, get used to sticking, and then eventually you'll be able to flatten that hand out, get it nice and flat, and you'll be able to get used to that movement of the discus being nice and flat when it leaves your hand. Okay? The third reason is that you are starting with the discus upside down. And we see this a lot of times with throwers when they first start out. You learn the power position, you learn your feet, but you start with the discus in your hand like it's a dinner plate. And when you step back, it's still upside down, and you try to flip it in midair as you go into your throw. So it looks like this. It's like a figure-8 motion. You really want to start out and reinforce the fact that the discus is flat. So what I like to do is get in that power position with the discus throwing hand on top of the disc, then bring it back nice and flat and release nice and flat. That way you're not going to get in the habit of turning the discus upside down. You're not going to get in the habit of having the discus flat in the hand, standing up like a right angle, standing up nice and straight in the hand. You'll always realize that your hand's on top. You're going to move it back quickly and let it go forward quickly. This way, disc is nice and flat. It's going to come off the hand nice and flat. Your thumb is going to be down, and it's going to fly nice and straight. Well, hopefully for Indianapolis 57, this answers your question and anybody else out there that's having a similar problem to this. Keep the questions coming, guys. We're going to keep doing discus videos, but if you guys have specific questions, and if they're good questions, we're going to answer them in the videos, get you your answer quickly so that you can take it out to practice the next day and help improve your throws. Make sure to find us on Facebook. Search Primal Athlete Training Center and click like. We're always putting up tips and tricks like this. We're always putting up new videos, and we have a new blog on the way too that you guys can check out on a daily basis to read more about the throwing events and how you can improve your throws. Thanks for watching.